Welcome to our journey through the life of James Madison, the father of the Constitution. Before we dive into his remarkable story, let's set the stage for the incredible legacy he left behind. James Madison was a man whose influence on American democracy is immeasurable. His vision and intellect were the bedrock upon which the United States was built. Despite his physical frailty and introverted nature, Madison's unwavering commitment to liberty and justice forged a path for a new nation. As we explore his life, we'll uncover the paradoxes and complexities that defined him. From his early years on a Virginia plantation to his pivotal role in the drafting of the Constitution, Madison's journey is one of contradictions and convictions, struggles and triumphs. Join us as we delve into the life of a man whose ideas continue to shape the world we live in today. This is the story of enduring legacy and profound impact. James Madison was born on March 16, 1751, at Belle Grove Plantation in Port Conway, Virginia. He was the eldest of 12 children, and his family was one of the wealthiest in the colony. From a young age, James showed a keen intellect and a thirst for knowledge. Unlike many children of his time, Madison received a formal education. At the age of 18, he enrolled in the College of New Jersey, now Princeton University. He excelled in his studies, particularly in history and political philosophy. After graduating from college in 1771, Madison returned to Virginia. He was unsure of what career path to pursue, but he knew that he wanted to make a difference in the world. He considered studying law or becoming a minister, but ultimately decided to enter politics. At the time, the American colonies were on the brink of revolution. Madison quickly became involved in the movement for independence. He served in the Virginia House of Delegates, where he helped to draft the state's constitution. James Madison's childhood unfolded at Montpelier, his family's plantation in Virginia. Amidst the rolling hills, young James experienced plantation life firsthand. Their prosperity rested upon the labor of enslaved Africans, shaping Madison's views on slavery. A frail child, James found solace in books and contemplation. His parents ensured he received a comprehensive education. Tutors immersed him in classical literature, history, and mathematics. Under his mother's guidance, James flourished, his thirst for knowledge growing. These early experiences shaped his political views and vision for the nation. As James Madison entered adolescence, the French and Indian War cast a long shadow over the colonies. News of battles won and lost reached Virginia, igniting anxiety and fervent patriotism. For young James, the war sparked a fascination with military strategy. He devoured accounts of battles, tracing army movements. The conflict ignited a keen awareness of peace's precarious nature. James listened as his father and others debated the war's implications. These conversations provided an invaluable education in statecraft. The war sowed seeds of dissent, leading to revolution. The seeds of revolution found fertile ground in colonists like James Madison. In 1769, 18-year-old James Madison embarked on a journey to the College of New Jersey, later Princeton University. Leaving Montpelier, he traveled north, marking a significant turning point in his life. At Princeton, James immersed himself in classics, philosophy, history, and political theory. His sharp mind earned admiration from professors and peers alike. Under President John Witherspoon, James honed his skills in debate and critical thinking. Engaging in lively debates, he dissected Enlightenment ideas, shaping his political philosophy. These experiences laid the foundation for his future as a statesman. The year 1776 marked a pivotal moment in the life of James Madison and the fate of the American colonies. As tensions with Great Britain reached a boiling point, the flames of revolution ignited, sweeping through the colonies. Madison left Princeton, drawn into the heart of the independence movement. Returning to Virginia, Madison found his home colony ablaze with revolutionary fervor. In 1776, at 25, Madison was elected to the Virginia House of Delegates. Surrounded by seasoned politicians, Madison quickly earned their respect. He played an active role in drafting Virginia's new state constitution. Amidst the tumult of the American Revolution, a profound friendship blossomed between James Madison and Thomas Jefferson, two Virginians whose shared ideals and intellectual kinship would shape the course of American history. Their paths, once parallel but separate, converged in the fiery crucible of revolution, forging a bond that would endure for decades and leave an indelible mark on the nation they helped to create. Jefferson, already a renowned figure in Virginia politics, recognized in Madison a kindred spirit, a brilliant mind with a deep understanding of political theory and a shared passion for the principles of liberty and self-government. Madison, in turn, found in Jefferson a mentor and a friend, someone who shared his vision for a new kind of nation, one founded on the Enlightenment ideals of reason, individual rights, and the consent of the governed. Their collaboration extended beyond the realm of politics, encompassing a shared love of literature, philosophy, and the pursuit of knowledge. They exchanged letters filled with insightful observations on political theory, debated the merits of various Enlightenment thinkers, and collaborated on legislative initiatives that reflected their shared vision for a just and equitable society. One such initiative, championed by both Madison and Jefferson, was the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom. This landmark legislation, drafted by Jefferson and shepherded through the legislature by Madison, disestablished the Church of England in Virginia and guaranteed freedom of conscience for all citizens. The statute, a testament to their shared belief in the separation of church and state, became a model for the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, enshrining religious freedom as a cornerstone of American democracy. The Articles of Confederation, identifying the flaws in a fledgling government. With the American Revolution's victory, the United States faced the task of forging a lasting government. The Articles of Confederation, adopted in 1777, were the first attempt to unite the colonies. However, they proved to be a flawed foundation for a lasting union. James Madison emerged as a leading critic, recognizing the Articles' weaknesses. The lack of a strong central government hindered tax collection and commerce regulation. State sovereignty created disunity and gridlock. Madison sought a balance between state liberties and a strong national government. Champion of a stronger union, navigating the Continental Congress. Madison's tenure in the Continental Congress from 1780 to 1783 shaped his views on government and solidified his reputation. He witnessed the challenges of governing a nation divided by regional differences and competing interests. The weak Articles of Confederation hindered the Congress's authority. Financial instability plagued the government. Despite his youth, Madison became a leading voice, advocating for a stronger national government. A convention of minds, the gathering storm, and the call for change. The year 1787 dawned over a fledgling nation grappling with the growing pains of independence. The euphoria of victory over Great Britain had given way to a sobering reality. The United States, under the feeble Articles of Confederation, was teetering on the brink of chaos. The weaknesses of the Articles had crippled the nation's ability to govern effectively. The economy sputtered, burdened by interstate trade disputes and a worthless national currency. Farmers, facing crushing debts, rose up in rebellion, their cries for relief echoing through the halls of power. The specter of anarchy loomed, threatening to unravel the very fabric of the newly formed Union. It was against this backdrop that delegates from 12 of the 13 states convened in Philadelphia in the summer of 1787. Tasked with revising the Articles of Confederation, these 55 men embarked on a journey that would forever alter the course of history. Among them stood James Madison, his frail frame belying the strength of his intellect and commitment to forging a more perfect union. The Virginia Plan, a blueprint for a new republic. As the delegates settled into their task, it became clear that the Articles of Confederation had to be scrapped. A new framework for government, balancing a strong central authority with individual liberties, had to be forged. James Madison, armed with meticulous notes and ideas, stepped forward with a bold vision for a new republic. Madison's proposal, the Virginia Plan, called for a bicameral legislature with representation based on state population. This new legislature would have broad powers to levy taxes, regulate commerce, and enforce laws. The Virginia Plan also proposed a separate executive branch and a national judiciary, both designed to provide checks and balances. This separation of powers aimed to prevent any one branch from accumulating too much power. Madison's plan, while audacious, faced criticism from smaller states fearful of being overshadowed. Debates over the Virginia Plan laid bare deep divisions, threatening to derail the convention. The Great Compromise forging unity amidst division. The debate over representation threatened to tear the Constitutional Convention apart. Larger states argued for proportional representation, while smaller states clung to equal representation. Tensions ran high, the sweltering summer heat mirroring the fiery passions within the convention hall. The survival of the Union seemed to hinge on finding common ground. The breakthrough came with a proposal by Roger Sherman and Oliver Ellsworth. Their solution, the Connecticut Compromise, offered a bicameral legislature with a crucial twist. The Senate would provide equal representation to each state, while the House of Representatives would be based on population. The Great Compromise struck a delicate balance between large and small states. It paved the way for a constitution that could unite a divided nation. The pen and the promise Madison's notes, and the Federalist Papers. While debates raged, James Madison diligently took notes, capturing the essence of the arguments. His notes, published posthumously, offer an unparalleled glimpse into the minds of the Founding Fathers. They reveal the intellectual battles fought and the vision that guided the creation of the Constitution. The fight for ratification was waged in state legislatures and the public square. Newspapers became battlegrounds for competing visions of the future. Madison, along with Alexander Hamilton and John Jay, wrote the Federalist Papers under the pseudonym Publius. These essays offered a brilliant defense of the Constitution. Madison's contributions, marked by his deep understanding of political theory, were particularly influential. They helped sway public opinion in favor of ratification. The Bill of Rights securing liberty, ensuring ratification. The lack of explicit protections for individual liberties emerged as a major stumbling block. Anti-Federalists argued that the Constitution posed a threat to freedoms. They demanded a Bill of Rights to guarantee fundamental rights. Madison, initially hesitant, recognized the political necessity of such a measure. Without anti-Federalist support, ratification would remain elusive. Madison championed the Bill of Rights, drawing on his experience drafting the Virginia Declaration of Rights. In 1789, the first Congress proposed 12 amendments. 10 of these, known as the Bill of Rights, were ratified in 1791. These amendments enshrined fundamental freedoms and placed limits on federal power. A time for reflection and renewal. Retreat to Montpelier. With the Constitution ratified, Madison sought solace at Montpelier. The plantation offered a respite from public life, a sanctuary for contemplation. Retirement did not equate to idleness for Madison. He managed Montpelier and corresponded with Thomas Jefferson. Their letters were filled with observations on the evolving political landscape. Madison remained engaged in local affairs and the national debate. His voice, even from Montpelier, carried weight and influence. This period allowed him to refine his views on government and liberty. The lessons learned would serve him well in future political endeavors. The call of public service, a foray into political discourse. The tranquility of Montpelier could not shield Madison from national politics. The new government faced challenges, both internal and external. Partisan divisions erupted as Federalists and Democratic Republicans clashed. Madison aligned with the Democratic Republicans, led by Jefferson. He viewed the Federalist embrace of a strong central government with concern. The debate over Hamilton's financial plan ignited controversy. Madison penned essays arguing that Hamilton's proposals exceeded federal powers. These essays showcased Madison's intellect and commitment to limited government. He emerged as a leading figure in the Democratic-Republican opposition. The election of Thomas Jefferson as the third president marked a shift in power. It signaled a move from Federalist dominance to Democratic-Republican values. For Madison, Jefferson's victory was a personal and political triumph. Jefferson appointed Madison as his Secretary of State. Madison played a key role in shaping foreign policy and securing the Louisiana Purchase. The purchase doubled the size of the United States but reignited the debate over slavery. Madison faced the task of safeguarding American neutrality amidst the Napoleonic Wars. Great Britain and France sought to draw the United States into their conflict. Madison navigated these challenges, protecting American sovereignty. His tenure as Secretary of State was marked by both triumphs and challenges. As Jefferson's second term ended, Madison emerged as the Democratic-Republican leader. The party rallied behind Madison, recognizing his leadership qualities. Madison's path to the presidency faced obstacles, including Federalist opposition. Tensions with Great Britain cast a shadow over the 1808 election. Madison campaigned vigorously, emphasizing a strong national defense and limited government. He pledged to protect American interests while avoiding foreign conflicts. Madison's victory in the 1808 election did not bring tranquility. Partisan strife, economic uncertainty, and the threat of war persisted. Madison, armed with intellect and experience, stood ready to lead. He prepared to navigate the treacherous waters ahead. James Madison's presidency was entangled in escalating tensions between Great Britain and the United States. The Napoleonic Wars cast a long shadow over Madison's administration, affecting American neutrality. Impressment of American sailors symbolized British disregard for American rights. British warships routinely stopped American vessels, impressing sailors into service. These acts ignited outrage, fueling calls for war and pressuring Madison. Madison sought to avoid war, understanding its potential costs. The United States was ill-prepared for a major war, yet American honor and sovereignty were at stake. Madison pursued a delicate balancing act, protecting American interests. He engaged in diplomatic negotiations, seeking a peaceful resolution. The drums of war beat louder. As tensions with Great Britain escalated, a new generation of political leaders rose to prominence in Congress. These warhawks demanded a more assertive foreign policy. Figures like Henry Clay and John C. Calhoun electrified Congress with their fiery speeches. They tapped into resentment towards Great Britain and growing nationalism. Madison, though sympathetic, initially resisted their calls for war. The drums of war were becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. The fires of conflict, trials and tribulations. In June of 1812, President James Madison requested a declaration of war against Great Britain. The decision was met with a mix of apprehension and fervent patriotism. The War of 1812 proved to be a grueling and costly conflict. The United States struggled against the world's most powerful naval power. British forces blockaded American ports, disrupting trade. In August of 1814, British forces captured Washington, D.C. and burned public buildings. American forces rallied, demonstrating resilience and determination. American frigates like the USS Constitution scored stunning victories, bolstering morale. A nation forged anew, the legacy of 1812. The War of 1812 ended in a stalemate with the Treaty of Ghent, but it had a profound impact on the United States. It forged a new sense of national identity, uniting Americans in a common cause. The war marked a turning point in American foreign policy. The United States emerged with newfound confidence, determined to chart its own course. The Monroe Doctrine in 1823 formalized this policy, declaring the Americas off-limits to European colonization. A well-earned respite, finding peace at Montpelier. As the final days of his presidency wound down, James Madison, his health wearied by the burdens of leadership and the trials of war, yearned for the familiar comforts of Montpelier. The grand estate, nestled amidst the rolling hills of Virginia, beckoned him home, promising a sanctuary where he could shed the weight of office and embrace the tranquility of retirement. After 8 years at the helm of a nation grappling with its newfound place in the world, Madison, the scholar-turned-statesman, sought solace in the embrace of his beloved Virginia. Stepping back from the relentless pace of Washington, D.C., Madison found a different rhythm at Montpelier. The daily grind of political maneuvering and diplomatic wrangling gave way to the gentler rhythms of plantation life. He immersed himself in the management of Montpelier's affairs, overseeing its operations with the same meticulous attention to detail that had characterized his years in public service. Retirement, however, did not diminish Madison's intellectual curiosity or his passion for the well-being of the nation he had helped to create. His study at Montpelier, lined with shelves overflowing with books, became his sanctuary, a place where he could delve into the writings of philosophers and historians, reflecting on the lessons of the past and pondering the challenges of the future. Visitors to Montpellier found in Madison a gracious and engaging host, eager to share his insights on a wide range of topics, from agriculture and architecture to politics and philosophy. The elder statesman, a continuing legacy of guidance. While James Madison sought the tranquility of retirement at Montpelier, his stature as a founding father ensured he could not escape public life. Presidents and politicians sought his counsel. He weighed in on issues like slavery, expansion, and tariffs. Slavery weighed heavily on Madison's mind. He grappled with the practical challenges of ending it,